But I'll say this, the goal of this office is to achieve justice for Dara Thompson and for her family. And that goal requires that my office have the ability to fully investigate and to thoroughly review any and all evidence in this case in order to make a determination regarding the appropriate charges for indictment.
Honey, if Dara Thompson's story feels like deja vu, it's because we've seen this nightmare before with the shocking death of Shanquella Robinson. Both women were young, full of life, and only supposed to be out for a good time. Yet neither ever came back alive. And the craziest part? The first warning signs didn't come from cops, it came from their families, who instantly knew something was dead wrong. Now here's the real bombshell. Rumors say the FBI allegedly uncovered chilling evidence that both Shanquella Robinson and Dara Thompson didn't just meet with tragedy, but were actually caught in carefully planned setups.
Well, this is an incomplete file. It does not reflect the FBI's thinking, just what was reported to federal agents. I've been seeking these FBI files since October 2023, and the FBI just released the first part of them. We now have a little more insight into how agents investigated the death of Shanquella Robinson.
Yeah, you heard that right. 2 women, 2 different states, eerily similar endings, and now whispers of a connection that feels darker than anything we imagined. So are we really supposed to believe this was all just bad luck? How do a quick vacation with friends or even a simple late-night stop for gas suddenly spiral into full-blown death investigations? Baby, that's the twisted puzzle we're about to crack wide open, starting with Dara Thompson's case. Okay, so here's where things get chilling. Security cameras actually caught DaCara leaving her white SUV, walking from Jasmine Terrace down Riggs Road toward University Boulevard in Hyattsville. The footage shows her stepping into the lot of a business, heading straight to a black GMC Yukon Denali and talking through the driver's side window, where investigators say Easy Mendez was sitting. Moments later, she walks around, slips into the front passenger seat, and that's the last solid trace of her alive on camera. By just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd, her father filed the missing report. He told police the last time he saw his daughter was the night before, August 22nd, when she casually said she was running out for gas and would be right back. But she never came back home. Imagine that. One quick errand and she vanished into thin air. Her dad panicked right away, calling her phone, hoping she'd answer. But silence. By the next day, August 24th, worry turned into full-blown desperation. The family jumped on the Find My Phone app since all 5 siblings shared locations. But when they checked DaCara's, her phone was already shut off. The final ping was at Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road, the exact spot she was last seen. When the family rushed there, what they found made their hearts drop. Her SUV was just sitting there, abandoned. They instantly called police, knowing something horrible was up. Fast forward to August 31st, 4:50 p.m. Maryland State Police respond to Route 50 between Route 424 and Route 97 in Annapolis. And what they found next would turn this from a missing person case into something far more terrifying. Troopers first showed up for what they thought was just a disabled vehicle on the short bridge over the South River. But what they saw shook them to the core. About 30 feet down on the embankment, a body was lying there. Days later, on September 3rd, detectives sat down with DaCara's family and broke the devastating news. They were able to confirm it was her, identified through tattoos and jewelry the family shared. But the injuries told a brutal story. Her skull and face had fractures that no accident could explain. It didn't take long before suspicion zeroed in on Hugo. That very night, September 3rd, just before 9 p.m., detectives pulled up to his house. And guess what was parked right out front? A black SUV matching the one seen with DaCara. Cops quickly locked down a search warrant, planning to come back early September 4th. But before they could even serve it, they spotted a man slipping out of the house and jumping straight into that same SUV. When questioned, Hugo tried playing it cool. He told investigators he'd been at the Galaxy nightclub on University Boulevard in the early hours of August 23rd, the same club right across the street from where DaCara was last seen getting into that black SUV. He claimed he was just supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend, but the link-up never happened. But when the heat turned up, Hugo flat out denied having anything to do with DaCara's disappearance, then quickly lawyered up. The search told a different story. Inside, police discovered blood that matched DaCara's, a broken white and pink French manicured nail, strands of hair, a wig, plus multiple pairs of women's lingerie and underwear stuffed in trash and hidden in the bedroom. That was enough. Hugo Hernandez Mendez was arrested and slapped with charges of first and second-degree murder in the gruesome killing of 19-year-old Dara Thompson. ICE then placed a detainer, labeling him a criminal illegal alien, and vowed justice would finally be delivered for Dara's family. Investigators say the story doesn't end at Hugo's front door. They believe he attacked Dara Thompson inside his own bedroom in the early hours of August 23rd, then drove her lifeless body out to Route 50 between Route 424 and Route 97 in Annapolis. That's where they say he tossed her over the short bridge into the South River, as if her life meant nothing. The case is still moving forward, but many are already praying it won't drag on for years the way Shanquella Robinson's case has. If you remember, Shanquella's death shocked the world back in October 2022. She was found dead in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico, where she had traveled with 6 so-called friends. But what turned the case viral was a chilling video. Footage showing one of the infamous Cabo Six viciously beating Shanquella while she was completely naked, as 2 others casually recorded. Later, those same friends dressed her in pink biker shorts and a t-shirt, propped her up near a bathroom, and tried to stage it like she'd simply collapsed while getting out of the shower. The police report only made it look worse. When a medical professional finally arrived, Shanquella's friends spun a story that she had just been drinking too much. The doctor actually suggested she be taken to a hospital, but her so-called friends insisted she be treated right there at the villa. The world would later find out just how dark that decision really was. By 4:20 p.m., things turned deadly. Shanquella suffered a seizure, and that's when her so-called friend Winter finally dialed 911. But while waiting for paramedics, her condition spiraled fast. At 4:49 p.m., the general practitioner on site admitted they could no longer feel a pulse and scrambled to perform CPR until paramedics arrived. But it was too late. Shanquella was already gone. And here's where it gets even messier. The stories didn't match up. In an interview, Shanquella's mother revealed that each friend told a different version of where they supposedly found her. One said she was unconscious on the floor. Another swore she was lying in a bed. Yet another told her father they found her in a chair. On top of that, the timeline was shady. Their first call to her family claimed she was just unconscious, then minutes later they called back saying they'd requested an ambulance, and only a few minutes after that, another call came saying she had passed away.
It's not going to bring back Shanquella Robinson, but it's that I know that the FBI should have been done something at this time, after 2 years ago. I know a lot of stuff that was in the phones of Shanquella Robinson that I gave to the FBI, and the FBI looked over it like it was nothing. And you know, and just like you just pushed my daughter up under the rug when you should have been arrested these people. You had a video where she was being, but you want to mess with the autopsy and say that she did not have a broken back or spine when the FBI are deliberately lying, because someone had, attorney had already, not my attorney, but attorney had already told me don't let the FBI mess with that autopsy, that they were going to switch it around. And that's exactly what they did. And I'm fed up with this stuff. I need justice for my child.
All of this supposedly happened in just minutes, not over 3 hours like the police report claimed. Then came the frantic call that broke her mother's heart. Her so-called friends insisted Shanquella had died from alcohol poisoning. But when the Mexican Secretariat of Health released the official autopsy report, it told the truth. Her cause of death was a severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. No alcohol listed anywhere. The last update? Shanquella's family has filed a lawsuit against the Cabo Six, demanding real answers and justice. They even pulled the feds into it, claiming officials helped cover things up and tampered with the autopsy. The fight for justice is far from over, and the family refuses to.
In our lawsuit, we allege we have presented the FBI with a public records request in order to be able to assess what was done on the case. And their response was, we can get back to you in 5 years, which obviously would be an even more significant delay, even more significant erosion of evidence in the case, memories of witnesses, etc. So it's an unacceptable response.
Back then, the family's attorney made it clear the lawsuit wasn't just about justice for Shanquella Robinson, it was about exposing the failures of the very people sworn to protect U.S. citizens abroad. She said the tragic details of Shanquella's death, followed by the sloppy and suspicious handling by federal authorities, only deepened the family's heartbreak. They deserve not just justice, but total transparency. The lawsuit laid it out plain. Shanquella Robinson's wrongful death caused damages of more than $25,000, and it accused the FBI of straight-up withholding key records the family had been desperately trying to get through FOIA requests. It also blasted both the State Department and the FBI for negligence, raising serious questions about who was protecting who. Then came the twist. Later, the FBI finally released new documents tied to the investigation. But here's the catch. Most of it was heavily blacked out. Names of witnesses? Gone. Key details? Censored. Still, what did leak through the redactions was chilling. The documents revealed Shanquella's body had major trauma, including injuries that suggested she had been stomped on. And if that wasn't enough, authorities even hinted at something straight out of a horror movie. Suspicions that hidden cameras were placed inside the Airbnb where Shanquella and her so-called friends stayed. If true, those cameras could hold explosive evidence of what really happened in her final moments. There's even been fresh movement in the Shanquella Robinson case. Recently, Imani Green, who previously went by D. Jackson, filed an amended response to the lawsuit in federal court, pushing for the whole thing to be dismissed. Their argument? That the lawsuit has no weight because of Shanquella's alleged behavior, and that the incident was all just self-defense. Can you believe that? Meanwhile, Shanquella's family refuses to back down, and the comparisons to Dara Thompson's case keep getting louder. Both women suffered devastating injuries. Dara was found with skull and facial fractures, while Shanquella's autopsy revealed a broken neck and spinal cord damage. These weren't random accidents. These were violent, deliberate injuries that tell a much darker story than anyone first admitted. And here's the parallel that has people shook. In DaCara's case, Hugo claimed he was just out clubbing the night she disappeared. In Shanquella's case, her so-called friends were spinning excuse after excuse in Mexico. In both tragedies, the very people closest to the victims were the ones twisting the truth or hiding it altogether. What makes this even scarier is the bigger picture. Public outrage is fueled by the same chilling pattern. Young women gone way too soon, suspicious injuries, conflicting stories, and families who won't stop fighting for the truth. So people are asking the hard questions. Were these deaths really just tragic coincidences, or were they part of something planned? Could these women have been set up long before their final moments? And if the FBI is already hinting at deeper links, are we only seeing the tip of something massive and calculated? These are dark times, and the thought alone is terrifying. But I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you on the next one.